Hey everyone, it's Colby Evans, Starting Park here, and I thought I would do a fun little diecast video for you guys today. As you can see in front of you, this is a collection of 1/64 scale diecasts from NASCAR, but as you can also see, these are program cars. Now, for the fans who might not know, and I doubt it's very few because these are very popular, these are the little cars that you can buy at the racetrack along with your book program. And I've been thankful to collect many through the years, and I thought I would show you guys my extensive collection of them from various racetracks. So if you're ready, let's go through these one by one and year by year. Up first, we have the, trying to focus it on camera, we have the 2006 Iowa Speedway debut program car. Now these were sold, there were actually 3 of these made. There was this gray and red one, there was a black and gray one, and then a black and red one. This is the black and gray version. As you can see, try to focus that right there. September 15th, 2006. Unfortunately, I still only have this one. The other 2 I have either been destroyed or lost to time. But yeah, this was the very first Iowa Speedway program diecast car, and just a good memory. And as you can see, try to focus there on the camera. But there's a Hoosier logo instead of the Goodyear logo. But yeah, a fun debut right here from one of my first NASCAR races. Up next, we got a Kansas Speedway 2008 program diecast. Now this is back when Kansas Speedway only had the one date in the fall. Now I did not go to this race. This was actually given to me by a friend who went to the race and knew I collected cars, so he gave this to me out of his personal collection, although I would have loved to have gone to this race as it had the thrilling finish with Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards. But as you can see, a nice simple design, very colorful. I always love the fact that not only did they put detail into the car, there we go, got the camera to focus, but they also, as you can see, they put a pretty good amount of detail in the box. So yeah, another fun car. And like I said, this was from September, trying to focus on that date right there, September 14th, 2008. Up next, we go back to Iowa Speedway with the 2010 Nationwide Series race. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the 2009 version. Still searching for that one somewhere. Hopefully, it'll pop up on one day. Now, as you can see, the box has seen better days. This is 15 years old, so some of these I have not taken care of the best, but I'm glad that are not destroyed. You know, again, just the fact that they put so much effort into the box and the car. I mean, they could easily have just a bland, there we go, got the camera to focus again. They could easily just have a bland box with a toy car in it, but no, they actually decided to put effort into it. And yeah, all around just a fun car. July 31st, 2010, I was only 9 years old, but yeah, just another fun car to the collection. Up next, we have the 2011 Kansas date. Again, this is back when Kansas still only had one date. This was when they moved it up into, actually no, this was 2011, the first year that Kansas had 2 dates. And this was the spring race in June. Now, the outside cardboard box, unfortunately, has been lost to time, but I still got the car nonetheless. Probably one of the more bland designs. The race was actually called the STP 400, but for some reason, it's just, as you can see there on the hood, try to focus it here. There we go. As you can see, it just says Kansas 400. No STP design, but still a nice car nonetheless. And I can understand if the sponsor was maybe last minute and this car was already put into production and they couldn't change it. But yeah, unfortunately, the cardboard box, and you'll see a couple of these as we go on, that the cardboard box has been lost to time. Up next is kind of a rare one. Another Iowa Speedway, but a truck. And I consider this quite rare because this was back when we did not get many NASCAR diecast trucks, especially for a program truck. July 16, 2011, the race was won by Matt Crafton, I believe. And I actually did not pick this up at the race, but rather an antique store only a few years ago. Saw this sitting on the shelf for $2, and I was like, hey, I was at that race, so I went ahead and bought it, and just glad it's number one, it's in good condition. As you can see, not the biggest paint scheme design. I mean, those stripes on the top are basically right out of NASCAR NASCAR gaming consoles, so yeah, basic stripe flame design, but nonetheless happy to have it in the collection. Our next one takes us to a new track. In 2012, my dad and I decided to go to Chicagoland. Chicagoland Speedway again. The box has been lost to time. Wish I had been able to keep it, but still got the car nonetheless. I do like the blue design, the gray and the metallic black. Yeah, just really, really solid design car here. Now, this is very similar to the Kansas one that I just showed you. The Geico 400 was the sponsor for this race, but I presume that this car was already put into production, so it was too late to get the Geico 400 logo added to the hood, so they simply just had to put the Chicagoland Speedway logo. I do hope Chicagoland comes back. Would like to go to that track once again, but like I said, that just remains up to NASCAR, and well, we'll see if it ever comes back. Up next, we have a return to Kansas Speedway, the STP 400. They finally had time to put the car into production, and man, this is one of my favorite designs. Got the badass STP 400 logo right there. Really nice red and blue design. This was actually the debut of the Gen 6 car at Kansas. As you can see, the others were Gen 5 and Gen 4 COTs. Try to focus it right here. As you can see, though, for some reason, they have the Bristol 2020 All-Star Race number placement way at the back near the rear tires. So I guess this program car was 7 years ahead of its time. Kind of funny, isn't that? Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it's pushed all the way back. And it's not just a one-side error. It's also on the other side, too. So, yeah, looks like Kansas Speedway's toy department in 2013 was thinking 7 years early. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cars in the collection just because of the badass STP logo. This was the infamous race where Matt Kenseth won, but yet had an illegal engine and got a massive penalty. Up next, we have another one that was given to me by a friend. I unfortunately did not attend this race. The 2014 Daytona 500 mini program car. Now, this was given to me by a friend who went to the race, and boy, do I wish I could have gone. Dale Jr.'s final Daytona 500 win. Late at night, remember staying up watching it. As you can see, just a very nice, simple design. Again, feels like right out of Create a Car on one of the NASCAR games. You can see very nice, very similar design on the back. Just again, very simple, but very nice. And again, putting attention to detail into the box. It's one of the things I really appreciate about these program cars. Can't quite get this sticker smudge off, and I don't want to ruin the cardboard, so we're just going to leave it as can be. But yeah, happy to have it in the collection nonetheless. We move on again, once again, to Kansas Speedway, and this falls in line with one of the 2011 cars and the 2012 Chicagoland car. And again, I just think that they were not able to get the title sponsor into production quick enough. I believe this was sponsored by 5 Hour Energy. This one was at Kansas, that Jeff Gordon one. And so they just had to make a bland Kansas Speedway design. But as you can tell, compared to 2011, they actually put some effort into it with some colorful, colors of the track's logo, blue, yellow, and white. Just a very nice, simple little car. And like I said, Jeff Gordon won this race in that thrilling finish with Kevin Harvick. Yeah, very nice to have that one. Up next, we have one of my personal favorites. Again, Kansas Speedway. The SpongeBob SquarePants 400. How many of you remember that one? But yeah, this was back when SpongeBob was the big sponsor for that weekend. And man, that takes me back. That was a fun weekend with all the SpongeBob characters. I loved the program. I got the event t-shirt, the event hat, the event ticket holder. I mean, this was probably one of the only races where I actually bought all the merch you could probably get from the track just because it was SpongeBob related. But yeah, absolutely my personal favorite of the collection. And yeah, they were able to get, like I said, the spring race sponsor into production quick enough so it wasn't just another bland Kansas Speedway car. Our next one sees the first time that my father and I went to the fall race, the Hollywood Casino 400 for 2015. And I really like this design. Again, playing off the colors, You know, like you saw with the last few, the box has been lost to time, but really, really nice design. Like, I gotta give credit, and I feel like they don't get enough credit to the designers of these program cars. They could easily go with very bland designs, you know, no creativity, but no, they actually put some effort into it. As you can see, the Hollywood Casino 400 logo right there, and like I said, just a very nice, solid program car. The one consensus that I've also seen is that these cars seem to be produced on Toyota bodies, so not sure if there was a deal made there or what. Next one is a 2016 Bristol Spring Race car. Now this one I actually won in a Twitter contest from BJ McLeod Motorsports, hence the BJ McLeod autograph you can see on the top. I won this in a Twitter contest, and like I said, the one attention to detail I really like about the Bristol ones, they actually added in donuts. Like, now that's creative, and I can understand, I can really respect that creativity by Bristol Motor Speedway and their department. I cannot get this camera to focus, but there we go. You can see another dent on the right side. I like the fact that they incorporated both the Cup and Xfinity logos, hensing what races were there that weekend. But yeah, another solid piece, another solid design. Happy to have it in the collection. Up next, we move on to back to Kansas Speedway, and similar to what we've seen before, the Kansas Speedway Spring Race 2016 car, they did not get the sponsor into production quick enough. I don't remember what the title sponsor was off the top of my head, but still, nonetheless, the one thing I could appreciate is the fact that they did not just do the same design. Even if they don't have the title sponsor into production, they still go out of their way to make the car a nice, fun design for the kids and whoever else wants to collect these cars. But yeah, May 7, 2016, that was when Kyle Busch won. But yeah, that was a fun car. And then we have one of the more underrated designs, the Hollywood Casino Fall Race for 2016, and look at that design. I mean, just look at the comparison from 2015. You have 2016 right here, and then you have the 2015 one. Look at that change. Look at that font. I mean, this is awesome. One of my favorite cars. Like I said, not my personal favorite. That goes to the SpongeBob one. But the detail on this one is extraordinary. I mean, I really wish we got this kind of quality in today's cars. For a program car, nonetheless. Said, trying to get the focus. There we go, the Hollywood Casino 400 logo. Moving on to 2017. Again, we finally were able to get the sponsor into production, Kansas Speedway, with Go Bowling. Now, I kind of missed the Go Bowling sponsor. They had a really big bowling display out in front of the track, and I remember bowling with Dad. Those are some fun memories there. One of the big notables I noticed about this car is that it has, you can zoom in and focus right here. Focus. Hang on, we're trying to focus here. Well, I'm sure you guys can see it anyway. There's just plain black windshields and back shields. There is no distinct clear windshields for this, and I noticed this after I bought it, but I'm still not mad at it. Again, you know, you can understand the production for these program cars. Some of them are high, some of them are low, and you can see overall not the best design for a program car, but still fun nonetheless. And definitely kind of a come-down design for the fall car of 2017. You know, as we just showed you with the 2016 design, this is definitely a come-down. This is straight out of Create a Car with how bland it is. I mean, maybe they were rushed for time, I don't know, but basically just one plain gold stripe down the side and otherwise just a black car. But like I said, you know, got to get it for the collection, so happy to have it, but yeah, they definitely could have been a little bit more creative. Moving on to 2018. Now, they did not make one for the 2018 spring race, likely due to not getting the title sponsor into production and maybe just not wanting to have another bland Kansas Speedway one. So we have just the 2018 fall one. Now, compared to 2017's Hollywood Casino car, this one looks a lot better. Actually tried with the box design. Very, very nice. Very, very nice design. Love the gold, love the mix into kind of a purplish blue. The font's cool. Like I said, I got the Hollywood Casino 400 logo right there. Try to zoom out real quick. Try to zoom out and focus. But yeah. And one thing I do notice about some of these later ones, as you can see, no Goodyear lettering. So maybe they just had to rush these, obviously. So no Goodyear lettering. So basically you could say that these program cars have been rubbing up against other program cars too much to get the lettering off. Moving on into 2019, we have the 2019 Kansas Spring, and once again, just another bland design. No, couldn't get the title sponsor or production quick enough. So, just another bland Kansas Speedway design. But once again, looks like they actually tried. Got some black and blue. Kind of a bland box design. And like I said, we've said before on this video, they're probably just doing everything they can, trying to come up with something simple. They probably have one day to come up with a design for a toy, and then, they just got to submit it. But not the best design, but, still happy to have it. Up next, we finally go to a different track, Charlotte Motor Speedway, for my big senior trip in 2019. This was my big graduation trip that my father took me on, and I love this. The red, white, and blue, can never go wrong with that. The stars on it, the stripes, the badass Coca-Cola 600 logo. Try to get that to focus so you guys can see it. Does it want to focus? I don't know if it will. Trying to get it to focus here, but well, either way, you guys can probably make out what it is. But yeah, very, very nice car. Very, very nice colors. Just a nice, simple scheme. There we go. Got it to focus again. There's that logo. You guys can finally see it. I apologize for all the focusing difficulties. Unfortunately, they did not make one for the 2019 Fall Kansas race. So we move on to 2020. Yes, even despite COVID in 2020, we still got one at the 2020 Fall Kansas race. Now, this was for the spring race, so I can imagine these had already went into production and were made, and you can actually see the original date for the race, May 31st, 2020. So these probably already went into production, so they figured, well, we already got these made, so there's no reason to make Hollywood Casino 400 ones. But yeah, they were selling them nonetheless, and I'm like, it's kind of an interesting piece, It's kind of a phantom race that never actually happened. So in some ways, I think this is kind of one of the more cooler program cars, because it's for a race that never actually happened. And I'm sure there's a few other people who were able to get cars like this for phantom races in 2020 that did not actually happen. So this is actually one of my other favorite cars I do have. Up next into 2021, we have the Daytona 500 program car. And boy, these are just... the detail on these ones is extravagant. That beautiful paint scheme, beautiful logo. This was my first Daytona 500. It was a family trip. It was my dad's first Daytona 500. We saw Michael McDowell win in a thriller. Like I said, very nice, simple design. Not a bad one. Can't go wrong with the red, white, and blue mix-up with the stars. Like I said, just a very, very fun diecast and a very, very fun trip. And glad to have it in the collection. They did not make a 2021 Fall Kansas race, neither for spring or fall. So we move on to 2022 with the spring Kansas car. Now this is the debut of the Generation 7 car. And again, they did not get the title sponsor into production quick enough, so we just have a bland Kansas Speedway design. And as you can see, it might have been rushed. They obviously probably didn't have the molds for the Gen 7 cars ready yet. So they probably had to rush a design. And so you can see it's just basically the Kansas Speedway colors on the sides and maybe just a primary black top. But still fun nonetheless. Did not have a fall one made. So we move into 2023. Again, we're back at the Daytona 500. And you can kind of see this is a pretty similar diecast. I mean, if anything, it looks almost exactly like just for comparison, it pretty much is a carbon copy of 2021 in a way. Not much difference here, but, still fun nonetheless. Went back to the Daytona 500 for a second time, went down for the whole week. Definitely a trip that I won't forget. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and JTG Doherty getting that win. That was such a feel-good moment. We go back to Kansas with the 2023 spring race. And I really like this design. This was actually really creative. This was actually kind of a unique design because you can see it does not feature the regular Kansas logo. It features just a base font logo. So I'm not sure if there was a slight change or an accidental change, but for some reason it features a Kansas Speedway logo that is in just basic text. It does not feature the primary Kansas logo that we all know and love, and the new one that we all kind of hate. So it's kind of a strange one. It has just a weird Kansas logo that never appeared again, and I wonder if this was just an error car, but it was already submitted, so they had to put it into production anyway. Because if we go to the fall one of 2023, there's the old logo back on the box, but yet there's that weird logo on the car. So this is kind of a hybrid mixture, and I wonder if they were testing out different logos for Kansas. And I gotta say, even though I don't like the new Kansas logo we have right now, I am very glad that what you see on that quarter panel is not the new Kansas logo, because that would have been pretty bad. But as you can see, very nice design, very nice, obviously the next gen number font. There we go, got it to focus again, but yeah, very, very nice car. Move on to the 2024 Daytona 500 program car. We finally got some change up compared to 2021 and 2023. Now, I did not attend this race, but rather I was there working the ARCA race. I was a crew member for one of the ARCA cars, and we stayed for the dual races because that was during the time frame that we were there. And during the intermission of 1 and 2, I decided to go pick this up at the gift shop just because I wanted it for the collection. So even though I did not actually attend the Daytona 500 in 2024, I was at home. Still got the car in my collection nonetheless. Move on to Spring Kansas 2024. This has the new logo. Like I said, I am not fond of that new logo. I really don't like it. I thought the first logo was truly iconic, separated it from other tracks. Now they just all look the same. I do like the blue, though. I like the blue and the grasslands. I can see where they were trying to go with this design, but gosh, God, that new logo is just ugly. I don't like it, but still, nonetheless, had to pick it up because, you know, why not? Then we move on to back to Iowa Speedway with the debut Cup race. This was a must-have. I am so glad that they decided to make them for Iowa Speedway. I was worried they would not. Obviously, you can see right there, inaugural NASCAR Cup race at Iowa Speedway. Took them long enough. Very nice, simple design, but gets the job done. Beautiful box. I'm excited to get this year's toy to add to the collection. So, like I said, 2024, it may just be bland white with some logos, but still gotta love it. They did not make one for the 2024 Kansas race, so we move on to the final one currently in the collection, moving to 2025. And despite me not liking the logo, I really, really like the white to green fade with this car. You say Advent Health logo, so they're able to get into production. Really, really nice color scheme for this program car. Like I said, still not fond of that logo at all, one bit. But still, nonetheless, happy to have it in the collection and continuing it on. You know, Kansas Speedway all the way from 2011, 2008 to 2025. Got the program cars in the collection, and that will continue for years to come. So as you can see, there they all are. Just a line and row of program cars, and I cannot wait to add more to the collection. I hope you guys also collect these because, you know, despite them not being to an actual driver, they're just fun mementos to have, you know, later in life, saying to all the different races that you went to. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like and subscribe to the channel, and see you all next time. Goodbye.